out what you've been doing in games 1 and 2. Yes, it's been tough. Now we're going to throw it right back in your face, and instead of beating you with win conditions, we're just going to beat you with interactions. High cannon carts to get Goblin Cages off the board, as we're seeing right here. Nados to pull everything together on top of the Electro Giant to get some more splash damage down. Just so many things coming out. And of course, this great Fisherman to slow this Electro Giant down. And this was just a minute and 48 seconds left in the game.
And what you can see in both of these sequences in a row, Andrew, is the cannon cart always placed just a half tile outside of that Electro Giant, throwing some damage back in the other direction because they knew just how valuable that cannon cart was going to be. You see, again, Goblin Cage out, and this was a perfectly timed heal spirit that just made all of this stay alive long enough to slice through that defense, and this was the end.
Yeah, really, really great NATO, pulls everything together, and now you truly see the power of this Electro Giant. NATO'd back, slowed with the Ice Whiz. It looks like it had a sliver of HP 5 hits ago. Stun comes in, gets that last hit on tower, don't even need to spell out. So now, maybe here in the West, since CRL East competition has already ended, before that Electro Giant got the buff, everyone watching very closely at this new dominant win condition in the 2v2 set.
Yeah, you want to talk about
About being dominant forces. Otherwise, though, he's been unstoppable. So you have to imagine at least one of those sets goes his way.
Javi's all-time one of the best in this set, and he's always had Ruben's number. This goes back to last season fall as well, where Javi just had Ruben.
Yeah, you'll see one of the most impressive things I think about Javi is in really high-pressure situations when, let's say, he does lose the game. You'll see him get a little frustrated. You usually see him shake his head, a little smile to himself, and then by the time he comes back for the next game, he's reset himself, which is so important.
Flying Machine will take care of the Brawler and of the Baby Dragon, and this is a lot for Ruben to deal with.
Yeah, and you see this miner to the back. Great miner to the back. Flying Machine on the tower. Arrows in. This is a beautiful, beautiful early haymaker from Javi Catorce. Look at that.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, is absolute haymaker pull on the Dark Prince. Goblin Cage completely perfectly picks it up, and the whole idea that Ruben was building there disrupted by just a tile.
Then he gets a Goblin Brawler hit and 2 Ice Wizard shots in. This is brilliance. This is exactly how everyone wishes they could play Clash Royale.
Well, it's not just brilliant on its own, but it's who you're doing it against, right?
Yes.
Ruben, 8.6K player, arguably the top 3 in the world, and someone could say number 1 in the world, depending on how you want to evaluate it. And what he's done competitively throughout his career is nothing short of astounding. Nice bit of damage there from Ruben as we're talking about it. Individual number 1 finishes. 3-time Orange Cup winner, 2-time Moreno Cup winner, Bren Chong's summer, Special Edition or the Summer Edition, Gamer G, Game G, like so many different individual awards, and he's carried so many teams. So to see Ruben play like this against this guy, that's, I think, why we're so excited about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think you spelled it out perfectly. Able to get on offense.
Yeah, and, this is an interesting situation here because Ruben has had some of his bigger wins through Royal Giant decks. Of course, a lot of people this season have as Royal Giant's been so popular, but a little surprising that maybe they weren't focusing on that from a matchup perspective in game number 2. And now you get to game number 3, and it feels like, it's a best of 1, obviously, but you got to wonder what they're going through in terms of their deck books, trying to figure out what to run and what they think their opponents will run.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go super high cycle because normally these guys can outplay who they're going against, but they also know who their opponent is today. So maybe something a little bit less high cycle, high interaction, but not quite beatdown, right? You don't want to get caught overspending in one lane. Your opponent defends very cheaply, and then all of a sudden you've just lost the game. So let's hop into Archer split high, and then we'll see where the Baby Dragon comes down, and then Sam will respond with the Inferno.
And you see Heal Spirit keeps that on a little bit more, and again, 3-3, and this is just the story of the game. 90 seconds left. Sam has not put up an insurmountable lead, but it's one of those situations where JP has to be sitting there thinking, what the heck do I do to get any opportunity here?
Yeah, and it's got to be so frustrating as for JP as well, just continuing to get one hit from, or a few hits from those Royal recruits every single time on that right-hand tower.
A little bit of help from the Baby Dragon does help with the balloon, and now NATO's all of that back, but this is smart play from Sam as well, forcing JP to spend a lot on defense and not get an opportunity on the other side.
And there's so much on the board here for Sam, right? Like, he could drop another balloon here in the right-hand lane, and there it is. Yep, that's exactly what he needs to do because of how much has to be played on the left. These barb huts, though, have been very frustrating for Sam to try to break through.
I don't even know if he's really trying to break through here, Andrew. I think he's just trying to he knows he has the lead right now, knows how hard it's going to be for JP to get anything done. I think he just wants to make sure that JP never gets a chance to do what he's doing on the right-hand side with any sort of support.
Yeah, it's just all about pressure, right? Just pressure, pressure, pressure because of what you just said. No support for these graveyards. Now we see a late tornado coming in with a ton of recruits behind. Sam's going to take that left-hand tower here in just a moment.
Yeah, you see Fishboy working, recruits working, and that's going to be it. Sam just slowly grinds it down here in game number 1.
And you look at the health on his towers, and we'll see them here in just a moment as we take a look at the stats. Sam, beautiful, beautiful play. Recognized what he needed to do early on, which was cycle what he needed to in the back passively until he could cycle his recruits in the back with a 3-3 split. Then support that push however IMJP wants to defend it. If he's going to go Baby Dragon up high, great. Meet it with an Inferno. If he's going to go Ice Wizard up high, great. Meet it with, and its damage gets completely negligible by just the Snowball. Yes, that can happen to the Hunter as well, but the thing is the Hunter doesn't need to reset and re-sizzle. It just has to reset, reload, and shoot, right? So that becomes the issue for Sam late in the game. You get a great Snowball in that hits the Archers and the Inferno Dragon, all of a sudden you have 0 to defend against that Balloon.
Well, and that's why you see so many decks that run Balloon also run Snowball, is just how well those two cards work together. You'll see it again here from JP. Just easily able to take care of the Inferno Dragon, and Sam didn't have a similar thing to do on the other side of the board, right? We're pretty close in damage at this stage, but Sam had no real way to say, let me slide this past your Inferno, let me sneak this past your Hunter. Yep. No way to get there, no way to do anything about it. Arrows aren't going to help that significantly, and that's again why Balloon and Snowball just work so perfectly together.
Yeah, and in that case, if Sam had the Hunter instead of the Inferno Dragon, he wouldn't have had to play the Hunter as high as the Inferno was. That Snowball would have come in a little bit sooner, and that Hunter probably would have taken that Balloon off the board for only death damage. So that's where you see the difference in the 4 elixir spent. Yes, that Sizzle's great, but that Hunter being able to get back on defense or offense after a Snowball is imperative in moments like that. We all saw it coming. We all knew it was going to be Balloon at the bridge, Inferno Dragon to meet, late Snowball, game to IM.
Let me slide